The U.S. launched a new round of defensive strikes against Iran earlier today after an American Apache helicopter was taken down by an Iranian drone last night over the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump announced in a Truth Social message earlier that the U.S. would respond to that attack. A few hours later, the military did just that. Here is one interesting detail from the attack last night. The crew of the downed helicopter was almost immediately rescued by a self-driving drone boat, likely the first time that has ever happened. Here with the details from Washington, D.C. tonight is our very own Jennifer Griffin. Jennifer, glad they're safe, number one. The president did promise he would strike them back hard, and apparently he did.
That's right, Sean. CENTCOM has just announced that the airstrikes targeting Iran have ended for now. 20 targets in total were struck. The strikes began at 5 p.m. Eastern. The initial targets included air defense systems and radars. Explosions have been reported at least 6 sites on Qeshm Island, over Bushehr, Hamadan, and in Iran's port city of Sirak, near the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz, and also Bandar Abbas, one of the main oil terminal port cities. CENTCOM called the strikes defensive and proportional. Iran's deputy foreign minister claimed that Iran had not fired any drones in the past 24 hours, but a senior U.S. official tells Fox it was an Iranian Shahed drone that shot down the U.S. Apache helicopter that had 2 Americans on board near the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. U.S. officials are not certain the Iranians meant to target the American helicopter, but say it doesn't matter because they saw Iran launch multiple drones at that time over the strait, targeting vessels in the international corridor. The 2 U.S. airmen were rescued by a Corsair, a 24-foot autonomous surface vessel with a 1,000 nautical mile range and a 1,000-pound payload capacity, built by Saronic Technologies. This is the first time the U.S. military or any military has used a sea drone to find and rescue stranded airmen at sea. Task Force 59 is the Navy's first operational AI and drone task force. It was established by Admiral Brad Cooper in 2021 when he was head of the 5th Fleet. The downed crew climbed aboard the sea drone after spending 2 hours in the water. Hours earlier, an American F-18 Super Hornet fired missiles into the engineering and steering compartments of an unladen oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman to stop it from heading to an Iranian port. 24 stranded Indian crew members had to be airlifted to safety by Omani naval helicopters. Sean, Iran's foreign minister just issued a new statement vowing no attack will remain unanswered. Quote, "Leave our region if you want to be safe. History of the Persian Gulf," he said, has many chapters on dire fates of intruding outsiders. Sean?
All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.
The situation in the Middle East has escalated dramatically following a direct exchange of military strikes between the United States and Iran. Here is a breakdown of the chain of events that led to this morning's flashpoint, along with the current regional impact. The escalation timeline. The current crisis sparked over the strategic Strait of Hormuz before rapidly expanding across multiple countries in the region. 1. The trigger. Apache helicopter downing, Monday, June 8th. The incident. A U.S. Army Apache attack helicopter was downed over the Strait of Hormuz. The rescue. In a notable technical milestone, both U.S. pilots were rescued unharmed by an autonomous unmanned drone boat, the Corsair, operated by the U.S. Navy's Task Force 59. The stance. U.S. President Donald Trump stated on Truth Social that Iran shot down the helicopter and declared the U.S. must, of necessity, respond. Iran's deputy foreign minister claimed the downing was not a deliberate target. 2. The U.S. response, self-defense strikes, Tuesday, June 9th. The action. Under presidential direction, U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, launched precision airstrikes using Navy and Air Force fighter jets. The targets. The strikes hit Iranian air defense systems, ground control stations, and surveillance radar sites along Iran's southern coast, including Bandar Abbas, Qeshm Island, Jask, and Sirak. The assessment, CENTCOM, deemed the mission a proportional response to unjustified Iranian aggression, later announcing that the specific retaliatory operation was completed. 3. The Iranian retaliation, targeting U.S. bases, Wednesday, June 10th. In the early hours of Wednesday, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, launched broad, multi-directional retaliatory strikes against U.S. military assets across the region. Jordan. The IRGC launched long-range, solid-fuel ballistic missiles targeting the Muwafaq Salti airbase in Al-Azraq, claiming to have hit F-35 hangars and a control center. Jordan's military confirmed it intercepted and shot down 5 incoming Iranian missiles, with debris causing no injuries. Bahrain. One-way attack drones, SHAHED-136, targeted the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Manamah, triggering air raid sirens across Bahrain. Kuwait. Kuwaiti air defense systems were activated to engage and intercept incoming hostile aerial drones targeting areas like the Ali Al Salem airbase. The broader regional fallout, beyond the immediate US-Iran flashpoint, the wider conflict continues to strain neighboring borders and global markets. Diplomatic warnings. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that Iran will leave no threat unanswered, and warned Gulf neighbors that they hold a legal and moral responsibility to prevent the US and Israel from using their territories to launch actions against Iran. Oil prices spike. Global energy markets immediately reacted to the friction around the Strait of Hormuz, with Brent crude edging back up past $91 a barrel due to supply disruption fears. Lebanon and Gaza. Paralleling the US-Iran escalation, Israel issued immediate forced displacement orders for southern Lebanese villages, such as Ansariya, ahead of planned military movements, while conflict and border blockades continue to severely impact civilian medical evacuations out of Gaza. Red Sea context. In tandem with the tensions, maritime security remains highly volatile. The British military reported that guards on a cargo ship in the Gulf of Aden successfully exchanged fire with and drove off gunmen in a small boat.